Greetings and welcome to the Power of Vintage. This is going to be a very quick little episode. There's a couple things we're going to do here. Working on the Atari Falcon. This here is my CT63. It is the 68060 CPU accelerator and fast RAM for my Atari Falcon. And I have had endless issues with this. This is right now running a 68060 LC processor. This is missing, has the MMU but not the FPU. It has not recognized the RAM since I got it new. This 68060 LC is running at 80 megahertz. It works kind of, right? And so I've had issues it on and off since I got it. And to be fair, I haven't known any better. I've tried a bunch of different things. You know, there's getting a different PSU power supply for trying out different RAM. I actually have 3 different 68060 CPUs. I did not buy full fat ones. 2 are the LC variants of it. This one here is a full fat one that I had, and I would wanted to use at some point and thought maybe it was because I was using a low fat version, the LC version of the 68060, that it wasn't working. All right. Okay. That wasn't it. I've discovered earlier today another user on the Exos. Exos is an Atari enthusiast manufacturer. He runs a great forum. Fantastic place. Lots of great information. There is another user on the forum who's posting a similar kind of situation with their, they had a CT60. This is an older version of a similar kind of accelerator card. And they were trying a bunch of stuff. What they were highlighting was reflowing the various different legs of solder on this CPLD here. So I had tried reflowing the solder on it in a very targeted fashion with just kind of looking at each individual pin and only looking at those where it looked like it might not have been good. And to be fair, I do not have a microscope, a digital microscope. I have these and eyes that are getting older and older, so I'm not able to see that necessarily at that super fine a detail as I would like. But what I simply did is I took this lovely soldering iron with a spade soldering tip and simply drug across all the pins. Booted it up. Just again, this is Hail Mary kind of things. I was just going to do this and go through that process. Obviously, I had flux on it, and just to try to reflow the pins, the solder on those pins there. Hail Mary, booted up, went into, there's a BIOS effectively associated with this accelerator. In the BIOS, it automatically recognized everything. I'd had issues, it wouldn't even recognize what it was installed on it, right? But it recognized everything. And so I went to test all the RAM. And what would typically happen is when I went into the diagnostic, there's also a built-in diagnostic in the ROM as well, which is all this awesome stuff. So when I would go into the diagnostic ROM, it would test the DSP RAM. It would then test the ST RAM. This is the 14 megabytes that the Atari Falcon has. And then it would go into the fast RAM or TT RAM and then test this RAM stick. And that test goes on for 30, 45 minutes or so. And historically would just come back with a red screen. All the other two, the DSP and the Falcon RAM, would test positive would pass the test. And then it would just show a red screen after a while when it got to testing this stuff. Today, first time ever, this passed the diagnostic test. I actually tested it twice just to be sure. And it seems to be working awesome. So, what I want to do now, of course, I can't be satisfied with that because what I want to do is swap out the LC variant of the CPU and pop in the full fat version of a 68060 that I have here, and we'll get to that. We'll get going. Okay, removing these CPUs, pain in the butt. I do not have one of those nice little lever tools to try to pull it off, ease it off easily, but I do have some methods that work. I'm just not going to do it on camera because it'll probably trigger some people. It works. It takes a long time, and I'm very slow and methodical with it because I don't want to damage anything. But at the same time, I'm sure it'll trigger some folks online, and they'll say, "Get one of those little tools to lever this off with, a CPU extractor tool." I have looked and looked and looked, and I cannot find one for the life of me. If I could get one, I would use one. I promise. All right. Thank you. I'll be right back. All right. You can see all the different tools I use to extract this CPU here. This is the 68LC060R replaced with the full fat 68060 here. I only bent one pin. I straightened it back out. Was able to get it in. It takes a long time because again, I'm very, very cautious with this. I don't want to damage this. But that said, I figure if you saw me doing this, there'd be someone who'd be triggered by it. All right, let's get to testing. All right, here we are booting up with the CT63. As you can see, we got the Rev 5 68060 with the FPU on it, which is super awesome. We're going to go into the BIOS here. As you can kind of see the information here, the FPU is off. I am turning it on. Woohoo! That's super awesome. There's a few things that you can adjust in here, and in this case, I'm going to go back up, and here we are. We adjust the frequency. We're going to push it up to 70 megahertz. There we go. We'll save the settings, and then we'll exit out and boot again. Now we're going to boot it up into TOS. And from TOS, we're going to run GemBench and see what the results look like with the full fat 68060. I'm running it in the games side, or the games run set here. All right. Go into the directories here. I call it Office. And we'll go to GemBench, boom, and GemBench 6 here. Now we're going to open up a test. We're going to just compare it to a base Atari STF, FM 1040 ST effectively. Running TOS 1.04 versus 4.04. We got the Falcon 060 with FPU. NVDI is also on there, and we're running it from Ultram. So a lot of those things are affecting the results and impacting it in a positive light. As you can see, the visual stuff is just blitzing through, partly because of NVDI, but also because of the accelerator, and that it's running from the TT RAM, or Alt RAM rather. The floating math it'll show 0%. That's just because there is no baseline to measure it against. This is the longest test, testing out the RAM access. Letting VDA scroll justified text. VDI inquire, and then the alt RAM. And as you can see, it's performing pretty darn well. There we go. All right, now we're going to quit, and then we're going to boot up Doom.
Now, when we run Doom, one of the things you'll notice, so there's actually three different executables here. There's the 030 base, there's an 030 accelerated, and then the 060, which is for 040s or 060s. And it boots up pretty quickly. One of the things you'll notice is that it looks like it's lagging a little bit, but in reality, the choppiness is due to the video capture unit. When it's actually running on the screen directly, it looks and runs extremely smoothly. I hope you enjoyed this video of me making this a Falcon 060 rather than an 030. We're going to finish this off with some snippets of various different demos being run on the real hardware here.